What's your view? What's your view? What's your view? What's your view podcast?
Welcome to the What's Your View podcast with Olu Dolapo. This podcast was created as a space for real people with real life experiences that most people can relate to and learn from. Have a great time listening.
Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. And today I have 3 guests with me, and we'll be talking about outgrowing and navigating relationships. Actually 4, because Zana is here. Zana is the baby girl's voice here, Erin. So yeah, and first of all, they'll be introducing themselves. And let me start with Tini Tanana Bikobi, because she be not Tanana Pum.
What am I saying? My name is Olubenga Joseph. I am here in Nigeria for the first time, but I'm based in the United States, and I'm an educator and an artist and someone who's navigated a lot of relationships.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, my name is Olufeishayo Shweton Akinhomi. You know. Please leave my name, Joe. My name is Olufeishayo Shweton Akinhomi. I'm an educator as well. I'm also an artist, and I'm a teens coach. What else do you want to know about this amazing girl?
She's a convener of Once Upon a Future.
And a full-bright scholar. Yay! Hey. Same with Benga, actually. He's also a full-bright scholar.
Okay, so I'm back again. Like I never left. So my name is Oluwadamilola Adebayo. A banker, chartered banker.
She's a big woman like that.
Chartered banker. What was that?
I love that. And mommy to Zana.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so today we'll be talking about outgrowing relationships, or outgrowing and navigating relationships. And so outgrowing relationship is a natural part of the personal growth and the development that happens to everybody. Sometimes life will make you to outgrow relationships, whether you want to or not, right? And sometimes you have to intentionally take a step forward, in some relationships. So I'll be asking them questions, and we'll all be rubbing minds in regards to that. In short, I'm trying to get their view in regards to outgrowing and navigating relationships. So first question is, do you think outgrowing relationship should happen at all? I mean, there's a thing of never feel like you're bigger than anybody, never feel like anybody's lower or not up to you, quote unquote, right? So in regards to what I just said now, do you think it's cool to outgrow relationships, or there's a thing known as outgrowing relationships?
In terms of it being cool, I think it depends. Cool isn't the word I would use. I think it depends on what your standard is for a relationship, right? Or what your standard is for friendship, right? So if I outgrow a relationship with a friend, that should be something that we are both experiencing in different ways. And we should be close enough where we're having conversations about, like, you'll know, like, the type of things that we used to relate with. It's hard to relate with that person on those same topics. We have a different outlook, different perspective. And so the difference might become more pronounced. I don't know if it's cool. I think for me personally, it's hard because relationships take so much time to invest. And the older you get, the harder it is to actually create relationships. And that's the other thing, right? Your standard for friendship, I think, increases as you get older because you know you have less capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just going to say, should outgrowing relationships happen at all? I mean, yes, absolutely. And more spontaneously, as you know, as against, you know, it being planned in that sense, because I realized that when you really try to hold on to some relationships, it becomes really stressful and unnecessary. Of course, there are some relationships that you want to intentionally outgrow just because you feel like they are extra, in quotes, baggage. I mean, you don't. I mean, there's a place you are trying to get to, or and then you don't just necessarily want to, or they're toxic for where you are going to. That kind of
something
thing.
in response, because I agree with that. How do you then navigate that separation? Is it one slow burn, or is it just like I chop this thing off at the neck and you just don't relate with them anymore?
Well, I actually do not think any relationship gets out. I don't think you outgrow any relationship just like that. Like
Just like
Really?
yes, I don't think
that's
so.
why
It's a
phases.
process.
Yeah.
It's a process. You don't just outgrow relationships just like that. Yeah, it takes. Yeah, it's always a step at a
Usually
time.
there's no memo. You don't say, "Oh, hello,
Yeah.
former friend." It's to inform you that we're no longer going to be friends.
I'm pleased to inform you we're moving in different directions.
No, I'm pleased. Really.
Yeah, do you want to say something in regards to that?
Well, they've, especially Faye, had actually said my points that our paths, like our pathway in life, of course, will come across different people that would always help you. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. Sorry.
Okay.
But growing up, I have my uncle has always said it's not 20 friends cannot work for 20 years. They say it in Yoruba. So of course, over time you're going to outgrow friendship. For me now, I just only have one friend from university that we still keep in touch with. And even now, maybe because we're in different phases of our lives, she's outside the country and then me, I'm here. So the communication is looking like we don't really have much in common to talk about. So it's not, the relationship is not as it used to be before. Doing Dami were like two peas in a pod.
And I mean, I feel like this is why it is important. Okay, so I want to say this because I have a lot of friends from secondary school, which is amazing. Like anybody that knows me knows that most of, like my closest friend today, in fact, I married someone I knew from secondary school. So you see, and most of my closest friends today, I've known them from secondary school, which is amazing. But I mean, I can begin to think about, our great relationships from like maybe friends I met at the university. And and I'm beginning to think about, there are some friends that you really, really want to keep. You really want to keep them just because you guys share a lot of history, but no matter how much you try,
The present reality.
there's really nothing for you guys in the future, and probably even in the present. And then I think this is even why it's very important sometimes for like you to help your friends grow, maybe not necessarily at the same pace as you, but like you're when you are learning together, you're growing together, it's easy for you to have like conversations around that particular phase, because there's some things that you cannot just discuss with some friends, because let me put it this way. Let's assume that I begin to make a certain particular amount of money monthly. Let's say I begin to earn in millions monthly, and I have some friends. Of course, naturally, I would acquire some friends that also earn that, because maybe at work, they are my friends and my colleagues. Now, if I have other friends that probably feel like, people are still struggling with 20,000 naira per month, the next time when I'm talking about, I really need to quickly book a flight to Kiniko, I want to travel, it looks like, and then beyond what are you talking about? It's almost like
as if you are showing
why are you showing off? And then in the actual sense, you are not showing off. That is really your life now.
Reality.
That's your current reality. And then, but it's hard. It's hard. It takes a lot of wisdom, and sometimes some relationships really pass that phase, and it's still able to
survive
that kind of test. However, sometimes some relationship just gets dropped along the way. I don't know.
Okay, so let me. Sorry, Bega. So, what Faye said now, it actually happened to me. So, when I was going to go into school, university, which was here, Federal University of Agriculture, I used to have a very close friend. Ijoma is her name. Like, we're really, really, really close. Very, very close. And in short, we got apartments together. We got to stay in the same house. But so we had a neighbor then, because her parents are outside the country. She now became close to her, and they started sidelining me. And yeah, and they started sidelining me and all. And then over time, I think when we were 200 level, she moved to one of the most expensive hostels in school. Not to say anything, but it wasn't like as if her parents were okay like that. But she just knows how, she's the last born, but she just knows how to get exactly whatever
I
she
have one last one in my life.
whatever she wants. And so she moved to one of the most expensive. I was the one who did the running around for her. Like I was the one who paid for the money for the hostel. Like I was that selfless with most of my friends know me. Once we are friends, I can go through any length for you. And then all of a sudden, I'll come to her hostel, maybe just to spend a weekend or something. She will leave me in the room to go and meet our other so-called cool friends.
You are no longer cool.
I'm no longer
So that
I'm no longer cool. Sorry. And then once she has a little bit of difficulty, maybe she's not feeling too well. Damn, I'm not feeling too well. Can you help me get this? My normal self,
But
I'll rush down.
For me, I would not even see that one as outgrowing relation. That happens. I don't think what happened to that relationship is that they outgrew each other. I think what happened is that there's this other friend that is just, in quotes, with you for what they can get from you. Because this person keeps coming back when they need you, but they are away because they think that you're not so cool. Like outgrowing relationship just sometimes happens a little almost naturally.
But you know, it's
right?
An action has to.
You know.
So you took a specific action.
Of course. So when I saw she wasn't, I don't think this.
She wasn't serious.
Exactly. I don't think this thing is leading anywhere. Exactly, mutual. So I started giving her space, and then we just turned to hi, hello. People that we used to do things together.
Wow.
And then we just turned to hi, hello, and then we lost each other's contacts. And lo and behold, the next time I was going to hear from her, we were working together in Access Bank. Do you understand? But I was a boss.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
Oh,
So
God.
one thing I'm gonna add is, because my perspective is different. Growing up, I went to a lot of different schools. Like every 1-2 years, I was going to different schools. So by the time I went to university, I'd been to, I think, 10 different schools, 10 different school buildings. And so, you know, as a kid, right, most of your friends are people you make in school.
Yeah.
And because I was moving around so much, I didn't actually make what I now consider to be a friend until high school. And it was someone who was in we call it homeroom, like our home classroom. And he was my friend for 4 years. And that was a big deal for me because I never had a friend for 4 years in my life. But I think for me, most of my friends now are people I met in university, right? So in the States, university starts when you're usually like 18 years old. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, for me, like, hearing your own story, Dummy, is like, what for me, my standard for like mutuality and like reciprocity, like give and take, is premium in a relationship. There's no one in my life right now that I consider a friend who's not giving me something, and hopefully I'm not providing something for them in return. Now, it doesn't have to be like 50-50 all the time, but it can't be like 95-5, right?
To a large extent, it should be mutual.
To a large extent, it should be
it shouldn't
mutual.
be a parasitic relationship.
Exactly. Like, if I'm leaving the conversation with you anytime I'm drained or I'm tired or I'm annoyed, it's like, for what? What is the purpose of this? And so I think it's evolved for me over time, but I think, and I want to hear these two perspectives, like when you are married to someone, like I feel like so many of your relational needs are met in one person. That is not like you're outgrowing the other relationships. It's just that you're prioritizing this one that you're with. Exactly.
So I just want to say one thing before I talk. I mean, I love the fact that I brought in the marriage perspective, because I mean, we're talking about outgrowing relationships here, right? One of the things I was just going to say is relationships are supposed to be based on common interests, right? And that is the fuel of any relationship. That once those common interests, once you lose those common interests, you begin to force things. The reason why myself and Benga would have conversations is because we are both educators now, we are both artists, we have a lot of things to talk about. The reason myself and Dami can stay on a call for so long, we are both trying to navigate motherhood, raise a godly home, all those things. And then you won't be surprised that when you eavesdrop on our conversation, those are the things we're talking about. Same thing with myself and Benga. And then now to talk about the marriage relationship and outgrowing relationships. I agree with Benga a little, but I also do not totally agree. When you say that it looks like all of your relationship needs are met by this one person.
Not all.
Like most.
Not all.
And you train yourself to find satisfaction in it.
So that's where I'm going. This is why I feel like
I want to say I don't actually think it should be all in one person.
No, because it can't be all actually. I
agree.
I'm married to a doctor that is not very, very artistic or creative as such. So when I want to talk about like things like what I do sometimes, like some of the things that I do, my husband is most likely would say, "Oh, how much will it cost? Oh, what is the investment? Oh," and I'm like, let's just enjoy this. What is that? Do you see? I'm just saying, you, especially with your spouse, the person that you are married to, you most likely will not have like this 100% relationship needs met in this one person. You I know. But the truth is, you would probably have like most. But the other dicey part is that these things evolve, and I don't know if Dami has a different point of view, because there are times that it looks like this person is, we are talking, especially sometimes when you are still in talking stage, or you are still having a relationship, you're still like talking stage, relationships and all of that. It looks like, yes, this person gets me. Oh my God, this person, we have a lot of things in common. But there are times in life that it just looks like, who is this person? Who are you? Who is this stranger? However, what you need to do with marriage is that you really need to be secure in that relationship, and you really need to be like, you need to decide that this is what I'm doing. Like, it's a decision first, right? Because it's not always about how you feel about relationships. Of course, we also cannot neglect the God factor. There's a lot of things to talk about, and of course, it's not even about, we're not talking about marriages and how to navigate. But I just wanted to say that sometimes it does not even look like your relationship needs are being met by this person, because it evolves. It's not always a straight jacket. Okay, this is this person. This person understands me 70%, and it continues to be 70%. It's usually not like that. Sometimes it looks like, because you need to keep working on knowing this person that you are married to. Sometimes, and it's a continuous thing. You need to be intentional. Like, that's the word. And because you are married to this person, you are intentionally finding common things to make sure that relationship is continually relevant to both of you. That's my opinion.
Okay. This is leading me to the next question. Maybe I have to give a scenario, right? How do I navigate the pain or hurt that comes with an outgrown relationship? Let me explain.
Ooh.
So
this one is
spicy question. Love it.
So, for instance, right, I want the best for my life, right?
Okay.
I'm from a typical average family in Nigeria, trying to make the best for myself. I went to a federal university. I'm trying to get a master's degree, so I need to get a job to sponsor myself to get a master's degree. But I have the same friend that we grew up together, right? That private university. His parents already sent him to this place. His parents already sponsored this. His parents already did this, or our parents already did this for her. And we are still cool. We still keep in touch. But to a large extent, the things we talk about only revolves around our history as children, when we were children, like when we were kids, and nothing in regards to, like before, maybe when we were 17, we used to talk about, oh, Chelsea, but now we have different interests now. Maybe what piques my own interest now is more of ministry, and what piques his own interest now is more of maybe, let me use forex, trading, and all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? And maybe what piques my own interest in regards to work or career is, let's say, finance, personal finance, and all of those things. How do I, and it's obvious that there is like, we're outgrowing this relationship, right? How do I navigate the all-time pain that comes with that?
Because you really because you really like this person.
And the truth is, the other person is also making efforts to make this relationship, to make the friendship solid and still relevant like it should be. So,
but it's obvious that you might have to let go. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily let go. You are just not happy with the fact that we have different interests already, and it's fine. I mean, it's totally fine. But I really wish it could be like when we had same interest all through.
As in, you don't know what to talk about when you're talking, or where's the disconnect besides having different like?
So the disconnect now is that you don't talk often again.
Because you have less common interest.
Yeah, and life has happened. I mean, this person is facing something else, they're also running after something else. But the little time you get to catch up, you really don't even catch up on, oh, what's going on at the moment. You only catch up, oh, guy, do you remember when we went? Yeah, that's and it's just for a moment. Or you just like, hey, what's up, Moyo? How's it going? And that's it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So how do you, and also bringing it back to the fact that, okay, let's say the relationship is not so smooth again and you are pained, or maybe the other person is even pained. The other person that is even like quote and unquote higher is pained that, oh, I really wish I could still be like this guy's friend, but life has happened. Do you understand? How do I navigate the pain and hurt that comes with that?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And I actually love that because I feel like as guys, we don't think too much of, like, I think guys navigate relationships so differently from women. And I feel like guys, because we like bond so much over activities, like two of my closest friends in life right now are people that I run with like every week.
You run with them?
Yeah, like we go running around, we just go running around. And it's like, but I don't think I would see them or be as close to them. No, I probably would, but we'd probably find other activities through which we're bonding. I feel like it's when we're doing things together, we get to learn more about each other in a way that is like, I don't want to just go to this restaurant and sit and talk for 16 hours. Like, that's not a good time for me. It works for others, it just doesn't work for me. I think when I was hearing you speak, I'm thinking about how, like, I was thinking about my parents, actually, my family, right? Like, the version of myself that left home for college is not the version that was returning, right? And so you know how like when we become older people, we have to learn how to relate to our parents, right? And I think it's a similar thing in relationships to in friendships. It's like, yeah, the version of this person that you knew is not. There's still versions and like things you can pick up from as a starting point, but you have to figure out the new version of this person, because guess what? You're also a new version of yourself too when you're encountering them. Right. And so it's figuring out like what in this relationship is worthwhile and if there's enough alignment for me to continue to invest. Because if you found that there's enough for you to continue to invest, I think it's worthwhile, but the frequency might need to be less. But I actually enjoy those relationships, like the ones where like, I call them like cactuses, right? Like you don't need to water them a lot for them to still remain strong, but it also means that you might not necessarily know the day-to-day details of their lives. And it depends on how important that is to you.
So, I mean, one of the things I was going to just chip into that is that we need to understand that there are different phases in relationships, friendships, relationships. Of course, with marriage, it's different because you need it to work every time. You need to serve you because this is the one person you need some kind of emotional support from, right? But for other relationships, sometimes we need to understand the fact that it's okay to outgrow someone at some point in time. Like it's okay, you don't need to force it, right? Because you know why? I've had friends that at certain points of our lives we were not really close. And then we still come back maybe after some years. Something brings us back together, we reconnect, and then we begin to talk every time, and it's okay. I don't know if that's
what kind of thing. Is it like a specific event, or is it just like
not necessarily an event? So maybe it could be an event. Maybe something just happens to either of us, and then maybe let's say now this is a great example. I have a friend that when we're in Nigeria, it's been a while, we don't really talk, right? But I think I relocated before she relocated to the UK, and then somehow she called me, and then we just became buddies. We just started to talk almost every other day. Do you understand? Because something somewhere, somehow we found a new common interest, right? So with those kind of friendships, I don't even think one should be really hurt, because you should take solace in the fact that this person is always just there. Just the fact that we don't talk every time is not I don't think that's a big deal to me personally.
But I think it's okay I agree with most of the things you're saying. I think it's actually okay to grieve the loss of a relationship, though.
Yeah.
Because I think that's actually a very important part of the healing and the moving onward process. Because if you don't acknowledge that there's some hurt, and sometimes it's just like, it's not like one person did something terrible or you did something terrible. It's the life stages that you are navigating that are making this growth possible. And like there's a cost that comes with the growth too, right? And so I think grieving is actually okay. Like I think we need to give ourselves permission to grieve.
Grieving indicates that you are in the process of healing. So
Ideally.
how do we do that? Like of course different people grieve in different ways. But I don't know, it's a bit vague to me. That concept
of grieving the loss of a relationship.
No, in this context.
Of outgrowing?
There are contexts in which grieving the loss of a relationship or the
friendship.
Or friendship, that's what I mean. Friendship relationship or outgrowing a friendship relationship means something to me. For instance, say when in love relationships where you probably have to, for instance, I have an ex, and then at some point I needed to like intentionally, because I did not want, this is somebody that you are close to before you guys talk and do all of that, and then at some point you guys are not doing that anymore. That thing can really sting. I don't know, it's that I can relate to, right? I really can relate to that, because I don't know, it's just that you have somebody that this person you know each other's in and out and all of that, and all of a sudden this person is a stranger.
Okay, so do you think it's a mindset problem when person A is not able to sustain a relationship?
What do you mean?
Okay, so for instance, you just back out of a relationship or a friendship, right? Suddenly because of your own personal life realities, and the other person is also going to, but the only way you can manage is just to withdraw for a while, right? But in the process of you withdrawing, the other person has moved on.
Who are these people? So like, let's say like you have a situation that's going on in your life, you pull back from your friends, and then in that time they move on with their life, and like they don't want to engage you anymore.
Not necessarily like they do not want to engage. It's just like
The friendship is not what it used to be.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be again, and because of your present reality or how you've come out of whatever you've gone through, you are now more of an introverted person.
See, to be like, again, I would say friendships should not be forced. Like, I even feel like friendships, you shouldn't think too hard about friendship. Like, I believe that you should work to cultivate your friendships, right? Definitely, but I feel if it's naturally, if it's not working naturally, sometimes you don't need to force it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. There's someone that I remember. I know that this person, to me, I thought this person meant a lot to me, and I thought I also meant a lot to this person. And I started questioning myself, that did I do something wrong? Because I just noticed that we're not talking as much as we used to. Our relationship was somehow, and then I'll try to make it, until I began to think, Faisha, you are becoming a nuisance. What is that? Do you understand? So and that's why I say I really feel relationships should be it should take a natural flow. Friendship, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't think it should be hard. And you should fight for them, right? But not
to the detriment.
not to the detriment of your own mental, health and all. Even with friendships that you are trying to, there's some people that you really like them and you just want to be friends with them. If they are not becoming friendly with you, it's okay. I mean, it's okay to move on. The only relationship that I know is relationship with your spouse. Like, if he likes it or not, he has to be my friend. He's stuck.
Or you have a choice.
Okay, so in regards to what you just now been like the last question or the last part of it is two of you are married. Are you married? Okay, so
Not yet.
Typical Nigerian response.
okay, so do you think outgrowing friendship is something that can happen in marriage? And when it happens, how do you think it should be corrected or to be managed or handled?
I defer me too.
not different. Let Dami take the lead.
Okay.
Do you think outgrowing friendship can happen in marriage? And when it starts happening, how do you bring it back to form?
Okay, say like in the context of you and
Your spouse.
your spouse or your single friends.
No,
Your spouse can be married.
It must not happen, no.
How can it happen?
But yes, of course, it can happen in the sense that if the relationship was not solid from the get-go, and what I mean was not solid is maybe it was just materialistic. All you guys did when you were dating was just go out, eat, exactly. Not sit down and have deep conversations, have arguments. This is what I believe in. This is what
Favorite thing to do.
get to know each other's opinion on
Certain life things.
yes. So say for example, myself and my husband husband now, boyfriend then, midnight calls. Hey, I used to fight him if we do not talk in the middle of, like, I take it serious. I would vex for him. He will have to call my sister.
Prosperity and power.
So that was how.
So you are one of them. Those people, extra cool.
So you could imagine we talked about everything from even the kind of house we're going to build, if we were to build. What extracurricular activities, what do you want to do for the society? And so those kind of, so if you don't have that, all you just know is shop today, you are going to buy Balenciaga and all that. Of course, the relationship will fade out by the time you get, because you'll be in the same house with your spouse and then you don't have anything to talk about. I wasn't really a football person. Yeah, my father is a Man U fan, my younger brother. In short, everybody in my family, they are Man U fans. But it wasn't something that we grew up watching. But knowing that my husband is an Arsenal fan, though I choose not to support Arsenal, like I like to be on the other side. So you see us, because of that, I had to start watching matches, following up with fixtures, Champions League, knowing this player, like intentionally. So once it's weekend like this, we know we are going to watch so and so much, talk about this player. Oh, this player has this player has that. And likewise him too. When I started banking before him, and when I was in training school,
Thanks for banking.
and it was a whole stressful period for me, it would take out time to ask, what course did you do today? And you would just probably Google about it and then try to rub off ideas and all. And then look at us now. We can basically talk about work and understand
The times.
exactly. So
Zana wants to drop.
she wants to drop her whole point. So if the relationship was not solid, like it wasn't rock solid before, it will fade out. And that's where you see when they tell you, like Chris Sam used to say, they are divorcing based on unreconcilable differences.
I mean, I want to drop something. Yeah, I believe that if the relationship was superficial, it would probably not, stand test of time. However, I feel like even relationships, like marriage relationships that were built on really solid foundations,
They have the
you can outgrow, you can outgrow being friends, even in that kind of marriage. I mean, I dare say that I married my best friend, because I definitely did marry my best friend. Like, if you really see myself and my husband in our elements, you know that, like, some people, they'll marry people and then they'll not say, oh, I married my best friend. No, this person was my best friend. Then I decided that let me help his life, let me marry him. Because
helped your life.
Because I need to cover his life. I mean, but I find that if one is not intentional about cultivating that friendship, you lose it.
Yeah.
Why? You would, okay, when you are in relationships, you are still aspiring towards something. So it is more like there's a challenge. It is interesting. There's something that you are. Do you understand? You have to call this person every night and talk for 3 hours. Do you understand? You have to call this person and then you talk for 5 hours, because it's a relationship. However, sometimes I think what makes this happen, what makes people outgrow friendship in marriages, is the fact that people fall into the trap of routines. We come back from work, we go to work, and then that boring cycle sometimes can be very, very, very not attractive, and not, it becomes more interesting for you to speak to people outside rather than
it becomes mechanical.
More interesting for you to speak to people outside rather than for you to speak to like that one person, that your spouse, and that's really dangerous, right? Of course. And I feel like I know we're going to say something. I just want to conclude. In terms of how do you then correct this, I think the first spouse or the first partner to notice this needs to take the step. Let's have a conversation. Hey guy, what's up? I mean, with my own spouse, I probably say we are becoming boring in this house or something. Just say it as it is. That's the way. That might be my own approach. I say, oh yeah, you must cut me again, right? Where am I? Things like that.
Yeah.
If it's letters you want to demand, begin to demand letters. Yeah, let's spice up this relationship. Let's say, write me 1 letter per week. And it's also thoughtful. If it's not thoughtful, I mean, just and this is me talking the way I would talk to my spouse, because that's the kind of relationship that we have, or maybe intentionally try to date each other again. It brings some kind of life, because we don't talk about this enough, but when you're married to someone, it's almost like, yes, goal achieved. It's different from. It's more. I'm telling you, it's different from when you're dating and then you're aspiring to Maguire. Do you understand? But when you are married, it has been achieved, and then sometimes there's nothing to propel you to have fun, to do more for this other person, for your partner.
You said most of it, Ja. I think it's just the importance of you need to be dating, you need to be dating the person you're married to, even after you marry them. Is it? Do they stop becoming a person because you have a ring on their finger? There's still that cultivation and growth that still needs to happen. And I feel like, if you don't add novelty to the relationship, if you are bored, the other person is probably bored too.
Yes, you're right.
So it's usually something that you're both experiencing. So you have to figure out new ways of loving this person. And that's the hard part. But I think that's the part that allows the relationship to continue to exist. And if you're with the right person, I imagine it can also be pretty fun too.
Thank you. Alright, thank you for being a part of this episode. And last word. Last sentence or something.
Last word. Now, bigger.
I think even when it comes to outgrowing relationships, so much of it is determined by your own relationship to yourself in that period of time that you're in. So even as you outgrow certain relationships, no, it's not a bad thing. It might mean that you're becoming the best version of yourself. And as you rise, there are a few people who will rise to meet that occasion as well. And that's okay.
Yeah, And I'm just going to say something from what Mega said. In relationships and friendships, you have to learn to love yourself first, prioritize yourself, and know that relationships are not just happening to you. You are intentional about the kind of friends that are living and are staying with you. You are not just people do not just come and then they just rub off on you and they just stay with you. No, you are intentionally, filtering, adding yourself.
Okay.
Not peace out.
All right. Thank you guys, and catch you later.
All right, bye.
See ya. Okay, see you.
Thank you for listening to What's Your View with Oludolapo. Do not forget to share, like, and leave a comment. Remember, you can reach out to us on Instagram at What's Your View with _Oludolapo. And if you use Anchor, do not forget to leave us a voice message and leave a comment. Thank you once again for listening.